Archived content May 25, 2017. Although Arsenal's defensive record this season lends itself to serious scrutiny, and it got to the point where Arsene Wenger changed his system for the first time in more than 20 years at the club, it has always felt like the biggest issue the team faced was in midfield. After the loss of Santi Cazorla in October, Wenger tried all kinds of combinations to make things work. Granit Xhaka and Francis Coquelin and Aaron Ramsey, any one of those three with Mohamed Elneny, but not much really worked until the formation change. And even that might have something to do with being able to field the most compatible duo, Xhaka and Ramsey, for a prolonged period, more or less uninterrupted by injury or suspension. If there is to be money spent this summer by Arsenal, and word is a midfielder is high on their shopping list, then this is a key area for potential investment. It might raise questions about the futures of Elneny, or Coquelin, even Cazorla, who is 33 this year, but the future of Jack Wilshere must now be in serious doubt. There were big questions raised by his desire to leave Arsenal last summer go on loan. Having been left out of the England squad, he agitated for a move so he could be guaranteed more playing time, and was granted his wish. On one level it made a kind of sense. He was being slowly integrated back into the squad by Wenger after almost a year out of action, and perhaps felt he would feature enough, but when you're a high-profile international you have to wonder what it says when a club decides that you're expandable. Imagine Alexis Sanchez or Mesut Ozil demanding to go on loan and being allowed to do so. It simply wouldn't happen. It was Wilshere's relative unimportance to the team that made his manager's mind up, and that was the first warning sign over his Arsenal future. A big part of Wilshere's challenge at Bournemouth was to stay fit, and he did that for the most part. He made 27 appearances for the Cherries, before, inevitably, injury struck again and his season was ended. Another part of his remit at Bournemouth, though, was to try to recapture some of the form which made him such an exciting prospect. And on that basis, it's hard to say he succeeded. No goals, and just 2 assists is not a great return for a creative midfield player allowed license to get forward and express himself. You could add the caveat that he was playing for a team with limited firepower, whose primary task was to avoid relegation, but even so it's not the big impact he, or his manager, would have hoped for when he went there. Of course many of Wilshere's problems have been down to injury, and he has been hugely unlucky throughout his career. More often than not his issues have been the consequence of impacts and bad challenges, but the frequency, regularity and severity of them speak to a player who is fundamentally brittle. Some players are incredibly robust and rarely miss games. Some are quite the opposite, and Wilshere is one of those. He now goes into a summer where his pre-season will be focusing on injury recovery, rather than getting proper preparation for the upcoming campaign. He's also heading into the final 12 months of his contract, and as yet there have been no offers from Arsenal to extend his deal. His career is at something of an impasse. Can Arsenal afford to extend and see him miss more football than he actually plays? Have the injuries impacted him so much that help's no longer capable of contributing to a team who, ostensibly, have ambitions of challenging for the title? He has a big decision to make, as do Arsenal, and it would be a huge surprise if there was a parting of the ways this summer. It would be a real shame to see that youthful potential unfulfilled, but it might be the best for all concerned. Share this 27,699 Arsenal, Arsene Wenger, Jack Wilshere, Premier League.